Rothrock,
Here.
Vice Chairman Camilla,
Present.
and Chairman Garrison.
Present. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We're going to go ahead and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you could all join in. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Planning and Zoning Commission for June 15th, 2026. The first item up on our agenda will be the approval of minutes. Those have been passed out to you. They were in your packet. Did anybody have any corrections or modifications that they would like made to those minutes as presented? If not, we'll go ahead and take a motion.
I'll motion to approve the minutes of March 16th, 2026.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you very much. We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimous. Thank you very much. This isn't on the agenda, but we're going to squeeze it in right here before we get to the informational reports and updates. You were all given the new board and commission member training handbook, and you were given a series of 3 dates. I'm probably stealing Sammy's thunder. But if you could please get back to the staff on when you can attend that training. It should be very helpful for what we do and hopefully make this job make a little more sense as well. So you'll get more information coming. So, and with that, we'll go ahead and turn it over to the staff for the informational reports and updates. Ms. Rial.
Good evening, Commissioners. I just have a few updates. One of them was for the new handbook that was adopted by the City Council on June 2nd. Just a reminder to sign up for one of the free trainings. They are mandatory and they will be conducted annually. And then for those, just another reminder that on July o'clock to 4:30, so I just need to get a confirmation on what time that meeting will start. And then once I know that, I'll let you know. In terms of applicants for the Planning and Zoning Commission, we did have one applicant. We actually had two applicants, but one was not within the city's jurisdiction. So we now have one applicant, and once I hear more information on that process, I will be sure to update you. And then a couple of updates on projects. The Spring Verde Apartments is being heard by the City Council tomorrow, so that's the general plan amendment and the zone change. The conditional use permit was appealed, but then the applicant withdrew the conditional use permit. So the conditional use permit for the 3 stories and the additional height, less than 40 feet, is no longer being considered for that.
Sheets at the back of the room. If you expect to come up and speak on one of the hearing items or on the general call, please get one filled out. We have one sheet currently, but with our audience size, that seems appropriate. So thank you very much for turning that in early. We'll go on now to new business. We are going to, this is the same property, the same facility, so we are going to discuss this as one item, but we will be approving it as 2 separate items if it so does. So if we can move forward with the hearing for CUP 26003 and DR 26008, please.
Thank you for that, Chair and Commission. I'm Connor Bustamante, planner with Community Development, presenting on CUP 26003 and Design Review 26008 for the 1000 Trail site. So let me get a Some details on the property. In the left picture down here, I just kind of wanted to show you guys where it is in the city limits. It's in the very southern region, as you can see from that arrow, right before you get into the town of Camp Verde. And then off to the right is the parcel. It's roughly 20 acres. The site itself will only be occupying the northern roughly 3 acres of the parcel. It is just south of the Wilbur Road and 260 roundabout. It is zoned I2. As you can see, it's color-coded purple. It's also surrounded by other I2 heavy industrial zoning. And then off to the north and the west is Prescott National Forest. Here's an aerial view for you. Going across most of the screen is the parcel, and indicated in that circle is the general area for that property site. It's showing under the roundabout that it's Camino Real. That is Wilbur Road. I think Google just has it mislabeled, but just showing you guys where that site is. Here are some pictures. The top picture is showing from Highway 260. As you can see, the north arrow off to the left of the screen. Going from left to right, we'd be going further into the city of Cottonwood. The picture on the bottom is the access point from Wilbur Road. The applicant has submitted a site plan. Here's a whole parcel view. It is currently surrounded by a 5-foot tall barbed wire fence. And then as you can see, it runs along State Route 260 and then goes to the roundabout, and then there is an access point from Wilbur. Here's a zoomed in site. The access point up to the top of the screen comes from Wilbur, and then the whole site is proposed to be fenced with a 6-foot tall chain link fence with privacy slats to accommodate for the outdoor storage use. Just on the other side of the fence, on the eastern portion, there is a 15-foot proposed landscaped area, and that will be within the parcel boundary and not on any right-of-way. On the bottom left corner, there is the screening plant, crusher, and conveyor equipment surrounded by a 25-foot wide circulation path. The crushing equipment does not exceed 15 feet tall. As you can see, there are also many circles indicating the earthen materials that will be processed through operations. It will be in various phases. And due to the nature of the processing, they will be moved around. However, they are not to cross over into any circulation paths. Up towards the top, close to the access point, there is a strip for employee parking, and then a trash enclosure, as well as equipment parking. And then here is the 5-foot tall existing barbed wire fence that surrounds the parcel. Here are some renderings for the sites. From our perspective, we'd be not on the 260 side, but more on the Wilbur side. Just viewing that, you can see the privacy slats and the 6-foot tall chain link fence, and then all operations will be within that boundary. In order for the commission to approve a CUP, they must make the following 3 findings. General findings: the project site is located in the southern part of the city along 260. The surrounding parcels are vacant, with them being either I2 or Prescott National Forest. An ADEQ permit will be obtained by the applicant with a water truck there to help mitigate dust. And operations will be limited to Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 p.m. Compatibility with surrounded uses. The proposed development is very high intensity. The I2 zoning district is the highest intensity zoning district, so this will be the most applicable district for the project. And then a concurrent application for design review is being considered with the application. And then traffic and circulation. The proposed development must adhere to all applicable zoning ordinance regulations and design standards. If the commission is to approve CUP 26003, staff recommends the following stipulations. The first one, the conditional use permit, is subject to the design review approval. Any change in use must conform to all ordinance regulations, and then all activities must not extend onto the city right-of-way. And then 4, the project shall conform to the code review board comment letter. And then finally, an ADEQ permit must be maintained at all times. If the commission is to approve DR 26008, staff recommends the following stipulations. The first is this design review is subject to the approval of the CUP. The project shall be in conformance with the plans on file with the Community Development Department. The project shall conform to the CRB letter. The project shall comply with all sections of the ordinance, and all activities must not extend onto the city right-of-way as well. And then a zoning clearance application must be pursued within 3 months of approval. Staff recommends the approval of CUP 26003 and approval of DR 26008. This is a public hearing. I am here to answer any questions you may have, and we also have the applicant in attendance as well to answer any potential questions for you. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I'm taking a minute to pull up the agenda packet. Can you go back to the site plan, please,
Yes.
while I'm
That one?
doing what I'm, yeah.
Okay.
So can you explain to me real quick where's the slat vents going?
So the slat fence, if you can see the red dot, it would just be right around the site itself. Right as the employee parking starts, all the way east to where just inside that 15-foot landscape yard, and then it would go down this way and stop there. It's that dashed line. Sometimes it overrides with other things, but that would be that dashed line. And then the X's are the existing barbed wire fence that runs past the site and just along the whole parcel.
Which is also the property boundary?
Yes. And it's my understanding that the property boundary surrounding barbed wire fence is legal non-conforming and was in place prior to the city's ordinance.
So can you, well, maybe the applicant can. I'm trying to figure out why there's a 65-foot setback from property line to what would be the new fence line? Or does that go to the landscape, which is another 15-foot fence line?
Right.
I can't see the arrow.
Thank you for that. Based on the site plan, it looks like from the privacy fence, there would be the 15-foot landscape, and then that's after 15 feet. The rest of that 65 feet would go to the existing parcel boundary. And then I believe it would be about 100 feet or so closer down to the state route.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
So, is there going to be crushing going on, since it says that there's a crusher on site in that circle? I wondered if that activity was going to be going on there.
Thank you for that, Commissioner Hellman. Yes, there will be crushing, and I'll have the applicant explain any kind of extent of what would be going on, but it's my understanding crushing, screening, transporting is all within operations.
And then the other question is this a temporary project to support something, or is this considered a permanent place to conduct this business?
Based on that question, Director Rial, would you have further?
So, the application is for a conditional use permit for the use. The applicant didn't specify a time in which the use would cease. So for purposes of this application, we're treating it as if it is a permanent use and not a temporary use.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
How far is it to the nearest residence?
I'll go back to this just to, where's the aerial? As far as the nearest residence, we don't have any kind of measurements. The nearest property itself looks to be the Ford dealership, and anything around that is just vacant. But,
Thank you.
thank you.
Any other questions for staff? Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
So it's currently zoned I-2?
Correct, yes.
And is that how all of that property is, all the way to the Ford dealership? It's all industrial zoned?
Yes, within Cottonwood, it is all this purple right here. Everything down here within our city limits is the I-2.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Just remember to please push your microphone button.
Sorry.
No, to everybody.
My bad.
The button's stubborn.
Commissioner Connolly, do you have any questions
No
for
questions.
staff? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Could we have the applicant come up, please? Could we get the screen back to the site map, please? There we go. One more. There we go. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Anything additional you want to tell us about what you're doing there that might help us understand what you're asking for?
He did it really well. That's basically what we're doing is separating dirt and rock. And we do have an EDAQ license. We had another spot here in town. It's too much in the city, so that's why we're moving out there. And we basically separate rock and red rock, Sedona rock and stuff, and separate it and sell it back off like that. So that's what we're doing.
So.
Yeah, the fence, everything that he explained is all pretty much it.
So one of the questions I asked staff was why there was a 65-foot setback, and I'm assuming that's because of the terrain, because of the slope?
It drops off a little bit down the road, and then the road is actually about 65 feet from that barbed wire fence. And we came back more, it's kind of like a drainage area and a landscape area before that in the fence. So it's 100 feet, over 100 feet away from the road.
Well, I appreciate that you're putting the fence at a higher location, so it
And
does a better job of
It's up
screening.
high, so it blocks a lot. The whole
Yeah.
thing's kind of up, so.
Yeah, it'll hide pretty well from the road
Yeah.
since it's about what,
the
about
roundabout
15 or
area, it really
20 foot variation between the road height and the property, right?
Yeah, the road's a lot lower than.
Yeah, so you'll have a hard time seeing behind it. I'm kind of curious, I've been watching that going on for a while. Where are you getting your water? Because I don't think you've got a well yet, do you?
We have big tanks there and we haul water in. We have water trucks and we haul water in. We got a big tank, so we fill up there. It's a 5,000 gallon tank, I think, maybe bigger, that we fill up that actually runs the mister systems, all the conveyors and crushers and equipment has to have shaker plants is what they are. They got to have misters on them. EDAQ comes out and inspects us, and we've had 4 or 5 inspections at our other place with no problem. So you got to control your dust as much as you can is what you got to do.
Yeah, I drive by that site at least once a week, if not 2 or 3
Yeah.
times a week, and I'm always amazed that I'm not seeing just a cloud coming off that site with that
It's not
red
like
rock dust.
It's not like leveling and moving dirt. When you're doing it in a small spot, you just got to control that. It's not like leveling off a piece of property. That is different,
No, you've done a good job of controlling it so far. That
And we
was
keep
just-
it very clean, as much as we can, organized, so. And wet before we leave, so it doesn't blow dust or nothing.
Any questions for the applicant? Yes, well, let's start the,
So this is more just out of curiosity. Where do you get your loads of dirt? I mean, you're not digging it out of the site,
No.
correct? That's just storage,
This
so.
is like a mobile, until there's enough dirt there, it's not worth doing anything with it. That's why we've been using the storage area. We get dirt from all different jobs, contracting jobs, like the city did this high concrete jobs and sidewalk jobs, and all that material we take and we separate it and crush it, screen it, whatever we do, and then it goes back into use on the same jobs, basically, next time.
Thank you.
That's all it is. It's a recycling thing of the dirt and products.
Commissioner Kennedy.
Are you going to have a retail operation here? Like, are you going to be selling it retail?
Mostly contractors is all that we do it
So
for.
they're going to come in and you're going to load the
Yeah,
trucks
the
there?
contractors have
and-
us haul it off. The contractors have new jobs that they take the material back for. And that's what we do.
Okay.
And we have dump trucks, we haul it, so that's why we need a storage area and that, and we have a lot of trucks that we run.
Commissioner Rothrock, you have any questions for the applicant?
No, I asked my question.
Vice Chair Kamala, you have any?
No, I think you answered everything. Thank you.
And I'm not trying to ignore you, Commissioner Glasscott. Do you have any questions for either staff or the applicant?
Not at this time. Everything's good.
All right, thank you very much. Sorry about that. You're not visible, so I kind of overlooked it. Sorry about
worries.
that. We'll try not to allow that to happen too much. All right, any other follow-ups? All right, no more questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Before you step off, sir, could you give your first and last name for
yeah,
the record?
sorry.
Do what?
Could you give your first and last name for the record, please?
My last name?
Your first and last name,
Okay,
please.
Brent Deal.
Thank you.
Deal, D-E-A-L.
All right, we have two different items. We have the first, which is the conditional use permit to allow the earthen material processing and storage. And then the second is for the design review for the facility itself when it comes to fencing, landscape, and those other conditions as stated. Let's attack the CUP first. Do you have any follow-up questions you have any concerns about? No? Commissioner Kennedy?
Nope.
None for anybody. All right. Do you have, see, I guess I just asked if you had any questions, but do you have any concerns? Where do you stand on this, I guess? How are you feeling? Is this feel appropriate for the area, or are you having some doubts about how I-2 fits in I-2 or I-1, seeing that this is an industrial zoned area? We'll start at the end. Sorry.
I mean,
Commissioner Hillman. so-
to me, it seems like a great location for this project. I don't see a problem with it being way out the way it is. Of course, way out can tend to get swallowed up with development as we grow, but it seems like a great location. I was actually really surprised it was still in the city of Cottonwood, because I know much of that property out there belongs to Camp Verde. So, no, I'm totally in favor of it.
All right, Commissioner Kennedy, do you have any last, about the conditional use permit? We'll tack that one first.
No, I think it's a pretty appropriate area for something like that. I think it's a much improved area over where they currently are. And I don't foresee that there's going to be a whole lot of residential development right there anytime in the near future. I mean, I would question how long the conditional use permit goes, but does that have to be renewed after certain periods of time, or?
I think it's being submitted for until, I mean, it's non-transferable if I remember right, correct?
So conditional use permits run with the property, they don't run with the applicant.
But if there was a land swap, for instance, and some of that national forest was then, became residential, like, is this an infinite amount of time that they have a conditional use permit for?
Yes.
All right. Commissioner Rothrock, you have any comments, concerns?
This looks like the perfect location for this kind of activity.
Great, thank you very much.
And I'll agree with my fellow commissioner Ayers. I mean, that's why we have that type of zoning, is for this type of stuff. There's residents are away, allows you guys to do your thing without impacting traffic and normal city business and to move around, especially you're moving big trucks and stuff like that. So I think it's a really good use for that.
All right, thank you very much. I will restate basically what I said earlier. I go by that site multiple times a week, and when I first saw it pop up, it seems like it's been almost a year. I was really starting to get a little concerned because I was expecting to see huge dust clouds coming off that right onto the highway at that roundabout, which could be really disastrous for traffic flow and also just kind of an attractive nuisance. And through the time I've been going back and forth, I rarely see equipment on site. Everything has been neat and orderly. I have seen no signs of dust whatsoever. And should we get through the conditional use permit, the design review portion of our meeting will allow us to attack some of the other visual parts of this project, which I think will even go to further separate it from the road and from being visually attractive to the people driving up and down the highway. So personally, I don't have any problem with it either. I think it's a perfect placement for this. I would love to see it a little further off the road than it is, but otherwise it fits, and it's already 150 plus feet away from the travel as it is, and it's higher. So you really couldn't ask for much better of a location for it, much better than if they would have placed this probably on the lower portion of that property, because then you would have been above it and looking down on it. So it's, to me, it's appropriate. So with that, I don't have any other concerns. So anybody have any last items? So if not, we'll go ahead and take a motion. Vice Chair?
Chair, sorry to interrupt. Did you open a public hearing?
Oh, no, we didn't, because we didn't have anybody turning in. So at this point, we will call to the public. Does anybody from the public wish to speak on this item? Once again, if you do, we need a slip. We have none. We have nobody rushing to the podium, so we'll go ahead and call to the public close. Thank you for reminding me. I'll probably forget one more time tonight. So with that, we'll go ahead and take a motion, Vice Chair.
I move to approve CUP-26-003 to allow an earthen materials processing and storage facility based on the findings and subject to the stipulations indicated in the staff report.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimous. Thank you very much. And sorry once again, Commissioner Glasscock, for not calling on you. With that, we approved that one. We'll move on now to the design review. So this is discussing the aesthetics as was on the screen and no longer is. If we could get that back up again, that would be great. Yeah, let's stay there. Does anybody have any questions about the design review portion of this application for either staff or the applicant? Commissioner Hellman?
My only question would be, you are going to do some landscaping between the highway and this slotted fence. And so is there any requirement of a certain type of landscaping, or is it just whatever the applicant decides to put up?
I would say that's for staff.
Yes, Commissioner, so our zoning ordinance does specify acceptable landscape plant materials. So long as they're in conformance with the plant materials, then the landscaping is acceptable.
Looks
just-
like a boulder garden.
Yeah, I just always want to see really nice trees along the way, so that's just my personal preference, but.
Commissioner Kennedy, do you have any
I have no-
comments on the design?
No, I don't.
Commissioner Rothrock, do you have any questions or concerns about the design review portion of this project?
I think we should forego any trees being added. They take water in that area, and just let's put up some rocks and be done with it.
This is for a staff question, and I'm not sure. To what extent can we deem landscaping not to be necessary?
Commissioner, I don't know if there is a provision that allows the zoning and, Planning and Zoning Commission to waive a code requirement.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I will take that. Did you hear that?
I heard it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we
Not
can,
happy about it.
Vice Chair, do you have any?
I don't have any comments, and I would assume there'll probably be some boulders there, which, for safety, for traffic on that road, if someone flips off the road, then you guys have a nice buffer to keep them out of your area, as we know what happens on that road sometimes, but that's far enough away, so I'm good with that.
Commissioner Glasscott, do you have any concerns about the design review portion of this application?
Not at all. Thanks.
Okay, and the reason I asked the question, so I'll go now. The reason I asked the question is because, you know, I see cattle in that area from time to time, and I think any landscaping in that area is going to become a nuisance or attractive nuisance for the wildlife. I think whatever they plant is probably going to get eaten just as quickly as it goes in the ground. I do like the idea of a rock garden, so you have some geographical, some kind of a breakup of the terrain. So hopefully, I'm also not a big fan of the trees for basically the same reason. This is already water-hauled site, so having to put things out there that become dependent on water that maybe won't live past the day that tank goes empty and this applicant moves on to another location, I would be concerned about, what's wasted on creating a landscape screen that may not be there in the long run. So I would ask, I guess, since we can't arbitrarily deny landscaping in this area, I would hope that the applicant will take a look at all his resources available and find some things that are going to be basically very drought and heat tolerant and still fit the letter or the intent of the code in what you do. But otherwise, I think you'll make it look nice either way. So with that, I don't have any other comments about it. I think everything else has been covered in the application, so I don't have any other concerns. Although the police like to sit out there at your big mesquite, so you're going to have to get rid of your police that hang out there behind your mesquite. So you may want to cut that thing down. Other than that, I don't have any other comments or questions. Do any of the commissioners have any last-minute thoughts? If not, we'll go ahead and entertain a motion. Vice Chair?
I move to approve DR-26-008 for an earthen materials processing and storage facility based on the findings and subject to the stipulations included in the staff report.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any additional comments? If not, all in favor say aye.
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 Passes unanimous. Thank you very much. Good luck. With that, we'll move on to the next order of business, which is call to the public. We have one white sheet, and it is Karen Marzullo. I couldn't see the Z. It was right through the line. Sorry about that. Thank you for being here. We can't talk back to you. We can't answer questions, so this is your opportunity to give us some input on something you would like to maybe see on a future agenda item or concern that you have with the process that we do.
It'll be short.
Thank you, ma'am.
I haven't been here very
you-
often.
Can you state your name for the record, please?
Karen Marzullo. I'm a
Thank you.
resident of Cottonwood. The few times I have been here, it's not easy to open up these doors because even though, and all of these little flyers here, it said, pursuant to ARS 38431.02B, I'm sorry, I just did the wrong one. Anyways, it says that you're accessible to handicapped in accordance with federal 504 and 88 laws. That's not true. Okay, you don't have any buttons outside to open up the door, and your door is very heavy. Even worse than that, it would take me and a couple guys to open up the bathroom door, so it's extremely hard for me to come here, and then if I have to go to the bathroom, it's a real drag. Maybe you could put some trees. I could just go in the trees. Okay, so I would like to propose to you that you put it on your agenda to actually make this place handicapped accessible. It's not very easy. Once I get back to using a cane again, it still won't be very handicapped accessible because I would need at least both my arms and hands to get in and out of here and in and out of the bathroom. So anyways, that's my suggestion, and that's my hope, is that you'd actually make this ADA compliant. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. I hope you have a lovely rest of your evening.
Thank you very much for attending our meeting tonight. That is the end of call to the public. We have nobody else in the audience that looks to wish or wants to speak to us. So with that, we'll go ahead and close call to the public. And that leaves suggested topics for future meetings. Does any of the commissioners have any topics they would like to see made part of our future agenda? I'm not seeing any hands shoot up. So before we close the meeting, one more shot for reading your handbook, and please respond to staff with a selection of one of those 3 dates for the training that will be provided for you. And one thing to note is that's open to all boards and commissions, the council included, I believe. So it won't just be us, it'll be multiple people. So should be quite thrilling. A day of merriment and fun and lots of knowledge shared. So thank you very much for attending tonight. And with that, we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much. We're out of here.